What is the future of Nintendo? Now, if you're a Nintendo fan, you're probably scratching your heads wondering what is going to happen next. And, there's a lot of different opinions going around, if the Wii U continues to struggle, will Nintendo continue to support the Wii U? What is Nintendo going to do about third-party support? There's a lot of uncertainty at this point in time with Nintendo. Well, I thought about doing something fun with this video. And what I thought about doing is creating a video giving my impressions on what I think the future of Nintendo is. And to make this video short and straight to the point, let's go ahead and jump into it. What I think Nintendo will do, or in my opinion should do, is continue nearly on its current course of action. Now, I know a lot of people are going, what? No third-party support, inferior last generation console, blah, blah. Forget about all that. I think Nintendo is to the point now where they have the ability to be self-sufficient. And although that may be met with a lot of naysayers out there, Nintendo has the capability, they have the financial resources to accomplish this goal. They are a company that specializes in software, unlike Sony or Microsoft. Nintendo knows how to create games, and they also know how to subcontract out different projects to get the games that they want done. So, to go even further, I think Nintendo should leave the Wii U exactly where it is, as far as developing games for it. You see, at this point, I really don't think it'll do Nintendo any good to just abandon the Wii U and create a new console that is built for, let's just say, extreme performance. Well, what is that going to do for Nintendo? They'll essentially be back in the same boat that they've always been back in. Third-party support is just not really there for the Nintendo platform. And how many times should Nintendo stick their hand into the fire before they realize that we can do this on our own? And although this opinion isn't the popular opinion amongst the gamers out there, the ideal, in my opinion, is as long as the Wii U is priced at a reasonable price point and Nintendo continues to put out their game exclusives, then no one should be unhappy with this arrangement. Let's face it, Nintendo has more than enough intellectual properties to build just an awesome library of games for the Wii U. It may take some time, but Nintendo has the ability to do it. And the good thing about it is development costs are still going to be fairly low compared to what the development costs would be for the current Xbox One or PS4 due to the differences. Now, if I'm not an advocate for change for the Wii U, then when I'm talking about the subject of Nintendo's future, what am I advocating change for? Well, I'm glad you asked. And what I am advocating change for is with the Nintendo handheld market. Now, the 3DS XL started off slow, but it's been a great system. Now, is it matching the numbers of the DS? Everyone knows that it's not. No matter how successful it's been, it still pales in comparison to what the 3DS, not the 3DS, but what the DS did. It's not likely that the 3DS XL will ever reach those numbers. So what can Nintendo do? What can Nintendo innovate that's going to put them, as we all like to say, back into the ball game? Of course, I don't really believe they're out, but if you're a person who doesn't believe Nintendo is in the ball game still, how does Nintendo fix it? Well, this is what I think. Because the Wii U, from a specs and hardware perspective, isn't too far from what the current handheld markets are potentially capable of as far as hardware, I would love to see Nintendo integrate the two and make it one combined platform. Now, Nintendo's already started doing this behind the scenes anyway. They've merged the two together and they're all in-house working together. Now, if this actually starts to take off, imagine being able to buy a game and the value you would have from that game knowing you could play it on whatever platform you chose, whether it was on the handheld Nintendo device or the home console. The performance is nearly exactly the same. That would be a first for any game company to do that. And now we've seen smaller implementations of it with remote play with the PS4 and the PlayStation Vita, and there's a few other things that are doing that, but true integration to where the game is actually held on that device the same way it would be held on the home console. Now, there's ways that Nintendo can do this and make it run correctly, and to where you're not limited by an internet connection or 10 or 15 feet. That's why I say they need to be integrated to where they're separate devices but yet run the same games. There's ways to achieve this goal, and hopefully Nintendo will possibly do that. I mean, that is what I look at when I think about the future of Nintendo. I think about Nintendo innovating and allowing gamers to take their gaming experience no matter where they are. If you want to play that Smash game, you can play Smash at home, or you can play Smash on the road and have the same exact experience. Right now, no one is currently doing anything close to that. Like I said, remote play is the closest thing to that, but you have quite a bit of limitations with those things. You got latency issues, and it's all based on the internet connection. A lot of variables that it's not necessarily the smoothest experience at this point. But if Nintendo can be one of the first companies to perfect this, think about what this means. If somehow Nintendo can produce a handheld at a reasonable price point, and once manufacturing costs go down with the Wii U, sell it at a lower price point. Imagine being able to buy two separate devices that plays the same games that are still cheaper than what the Xbox One or PlayStation 4 is able to compete with. Wouldn't that be something? That would be a pretty awesome feat in my imagination. And there's a number of ways to do that. Let's say Nintendo stops using the gamepad, for instance. If Nintendo stopped using the gamepad, cut the price of the Wii U even further, and then came out with a next generation handheld that was capable of syncing seamlessly with the Wii U, the answer would be obvious, wouldn't it? You could sell the Wii U at an extremely low price point, and even if you just sell it at cost, you're not losing money. But where you can make the difference at is the innovative handheld, which if you're looking at Japan as a whole, the handheld is where Japan makes its money at. And if Nintendo can innovate that, and then if they can have any success like that in the United States or Europe, then that can prove to be a great way to bring Nintendo back into the game. These are just my thoughts. There's a lot of different things that could happen, but as a Nintendo fan, I think it's pretty fun sometimes to sit back and think about what's next.